on this web. We are not rare. But before you leave, you will perceive the lore will be unlocked. You might be stalked by a Sasquatch or a ghost witch, possibly even a ghost that will boast about knowing the Ohio grassman or even the Michigan dogman. Werewolves hunt, poltergeists are up front, but in these backwoods folklore is unlocked.
Welcome to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like always, I'm joined by Ethan.
Hello again, everyone.
And this week we are covering the lost colony of Roanoke. And we'll go into a little history since the lost colony was technically the second attempt of settlement of Roanoke. And the first attempt began in 1585, and Roanoke is located in present-day Dare County, North Carolina, and it was led by the governor, Ralph Lane. A resupply trip to the original colony was led by Sir Richard Greenville, that was ultimately delayed. And due to the lack of supplies and along with poor relations with the natives, led Lane to return to England with Sir Francis Drake, with Greenville returning 2 weeks afterwards. And Greenville did leave a small group to make sure the claim was still valid before leaving and returning to England himself. And the second attempt, which is the attempt we're really talking about, was funded by Sir Walter Raleigh. And the second expedition, which Raleigh funded, was led by John White, who is also the governor this time around. And it seems to be a debate exactly how many colonists were in the second attempt, but it's believed to be 112 to 122 colonists.
That's still a good number of people.
Yeah. And White had to leave for a little bit with Simon Fernandez taking him back to England on a resupply trip in either late 1587 or 1588. But White, what were you going to say?
I was just gonna say, I'm like 2 years for a resupply trip. I know it would take that like a while to get to, I guess, back to England, but like that's a little long for a resupply trip if they actually need supplies.
Well, the Anglo-Spanish War did delay White's return until 1590, so it wasn't really, White's fault that it took 2 years to get back.
No, I wasn't implying fault or anything like that. I was just saying like that's a long time if you were actually needing supplies. Like, yeah.
I mean, yeah, 2 years is a long time if you're in like desperate need of supplies, but there was a major war for England going on at the time.
Yeah. So White's discovery, whenever he returned, he found that the colony was still fortified, like all the walls were still up and everything like that, but completely empty. And they found the words Croatoan carved into the palisade. What is that?
Palisade.
Yeah, but what is that? I don't even know what that is. Is that
It's like a fortified wall.
Okay, just on the wall. Okay. And White took it as the colonists relocating to Croatoan Island, which was nearby. And before he could start the search, a storm hit, and it caused White and the rest of the crew to return to England.
So yeah, this second attempt just seems to be cursed.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like I know like I read a little bit more into it, and like apparently they lost an anchor and stuff in the storm, and like the waves were like pushing them out and everything like that. So like there was an actual reason for them to leave, but it just makes me mad that they weren't able to search then.
I mean, it just seems cursed because the first attempt failed, and Greenville returned to like 2 weeks after they left, and then the second attempt, well, the governor had to go back. He was delayed because of war. It took him 2 years to get back. Returned, all the people were missing, with really no real sign where they went. Just seemed that then the storm happened, which prevented them from searching. So it just seems like it was cursed from the start.
And like one of the weirdest things is that the colony was still fortified. It was just empty. So I'm guessing like most of their stuff was still there. I'm guessing it wasn't like ransacked or anything like that, because if so, they'd have been like, oh, it was probably the natives because like all this stuff was taken or something. But it seemed like everything was still there.
Yeah, so, and somewhat in order.
Yeah. And there are some interests or theories about what happened. The theory that the colonists assimilated into a nearby tribe began early in the 1605. There are also some stories about people with European features being seen in the Native American tribes, which kind of leads back to the assimilation one, that they just lived with the natives. There's also investigations by the Jamestown colonists, which produced theories that the Roanoke colony was massacred by the natives, which they did not have a very good relations with the natives and stuff, so I can understand why that would probably be the main like idea of what would happen. And I did see a story that talked about there was a time when like there was a silver cup that I don't know for sure if this was the first or second attempt, but there was like a silver cup that they thought was stolen by one of the natives, and they went to the tribe. It was like, hey, where's the cup? And they didn't give the cup up, so they just burned down the village. And I think that would probably lead to some bad blood between them.
I would say so.
Yeah. Then interest declined about the lost colony of Roanoke until 1834, when George Bancroft published an account in A History of the United States.
Which is interesting that it took, you know, 200 years, like 300 years to get interest back into it.
Yeah. And then we also have the Dare Stones, which actually before recording I did not know about. The Dare Stones were believed to have been written by Eleanor Dare, and it documented the movement of colonists and their ultimate demise, like what happened to them. There are like 48 Dare Stones, but they think that most of them were forged, and they think the only one that could be possibly true is the first stone, from what I saw. So I don't know if they're to be believed, but the first one they seem like might be real.
Yeah, I think like the first, like the original one or two might be real, but the rest are probably forged.
And I don't know for sure if this is true or not, but I did see this while I was reading, that the guy that was finding these stones, I think his name was Hammond or something. Uh, but anyways, he also had other stones at his house that he was like writing stuff on, and like I think they had sulfuric acid that he used to artificially age the writing and stuff. and like one of the stones said like something like forged, like it actually had the word forged on it, and like it was basically like a sign for his like business, like forged something, and they it seemed pretty sketchy. That's all I'm meaning.
And to get into the theories, the two most prevalent theories are they were assimilated into the Croatoan tribe, which was nearby, or other Native American tribes, or they were massacred by said Native American tribes. And in a Folklore Unlocked video like this, is it really a Folklore Unlocked video if we didn't mention at least two outlandish theories of what happened? The first outlandish theory is they were all abducted by aliens.
I'll be honest,
And then
that one doesn't sound that like given like all the conspiracy stuff right there, like being abducted by aliens, it doesn't even phase me by this point. Like I always hear about like aliens doing like all this weird stuff. It doesn't even phase me. The one that did phase me was I saw Bigfoot on here.
well, that the Bigfoot theory, I just it's like the really crazy conspiracy theory. It basically states that there was a Bigfoot or a group of Bigfoot that scared the colonists into for some reason fleeing, their fortified settlement and assimilating into Native American tribes, being massacred by the Native American tribes, or massacred by the Bigfoot themselves. So,
Dang, those Bigfoots
yeah.
could have been pretty bloodthirsty.
Apparently. But I think the two most obvious scenarios, them either being assimilated into Native American tribes or massacred with no involvement from Bigfoot or aliens, are the most obvious scenarios.
What?
Sorry, Bigfoot, but
Are you crazy? The two most obvious scenarios are definitely the aliens and Bigfoot. uh,
I just don't think Bigfoot and aliens have any part in this.
well, I agree with you. I don't think they will ever know for sure what happened to them. I mean, I know there are people that have tried to do like genetic look, like if they could find like do a comparison between like European DNA and the natives and see if there's any connection between them, but they were trying to look for bones that were from like the Croatoan, or sorry, the Roanoke people, like there, like the village. But they could not find any bones from them, so they can't really do genetic test because they're like 400 and something years old. Uh, so that one is kind of like a dead end. But most likely, I think they were probably attacked by the native population because, as we know, they did not have very good relations with them for very good reasons. And it could have also been that some of the people survived and they could have assimilated into a native tribe. I really doubt that all 112 to 122 survived. Like, I'm sure probably there was a fight or something like that, and then whatever was left either assimilated or went off on their own, and we just never know what happened to them.
Yeah, I mean, they're the two most commonly accepted theories for a reason because they make the most sense out of the four we've shared.
Yeah, yeah. And then, of course, the Bigfoot and aliens, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. Well, gotta throw in at least one harebrained theory to what happened every now and then.
Ooh,
I,
what if the lost colony of Roanoke? What if they became Bigfoots? Hmm?
ooh, there's a new theory. What if the Lost Colony are the Bigfoot?
Exactly, exactly.
But in all seriousness, I I do think it was just a bad luck all around, and yeah.
Yeah, it really screwed them that they did not get the resupply ships. I mean, that was like one of the big things because I know that they did not have very many supplies because I think one of the ships ended up sinking, and that's the reason why were so low on supplies and they had to go for some so early. And then they didn't really have like military at all there to help protect them. I don't think at all. I think it was mostly just like colonist people, like farmers and whatnot. I mean, there might have been some people that could fight, but yeah, then the storms and everything like that. I mean, it just was not great.
No, it was not. But you know what is great? The topic for our video next week, the Phoenix.
Phoenixes are good. I like phoenixes.
And with that, I think that's all we've got for this week. If you're on YouTube, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. If you're on Spotify, drop us a follow. Any last words, Ethan?
No, just thanks for watching, everyone.
And with that, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, bye, everyone.
You might wake up beside Spearfinger with an extended visit from Jack the Ripper. But if you're lucky, it'll be an angel on that range hill of Louisiana. You might meet Mary Laveau or the Road. At Folklore Unlocked, Austin and Ethan concoct their theory of the eerie and unexplained around the world, sometimes even the underworld. The lore is locked behind secrets, the folklore is meant to be unlocked. The Sokaloo is haunting NC as well as Tennessee. There are many giants that might be clients of the Dark Watchers, who might have psychokinesis. And the phantom time hypothesis is like the phoenix, coming back around again and again. Though there's a strain on your brain if you've got more than 2 brain cells in you. Some believe McCartney is dead because they read into the Mandela effect, which is subject